Ladies and gentlemen, it is day one yet again with Andre Norman, Securus Originals on the JPay platform. We are officially in the building. You've already seen this man from City View. You've already seen this man because he's global. You've seen this man because he's my trainer, my brother, Harlem's own Giant.
My brother.
Give us the street, the cross street, the building, the color of the car, the color of the pinstripes, the type of reels. Come on, you gotta hit him with the work.
I mean, New York City, man, is loud.
No, you gotta give him where you from. And it's always, I gotta tell you, I'm from 155th and 8th on the 6th floor, such and such.
I'm from the Lower East Side in Harlem, New York. We're on the Lower East Side, Avenue D, Baruch Houses, Columbia Street, you name it. I know you know the face, and if you don't know the face, I know you know the name. The famous song by Dana Dane, Delancey Street, where we robbed everybody that came to shop in our special neighborhood. And then I went up to Harlem, New York, man. You know, St. Nicholas, Lenox Avenue.
So give us a journey. Give us the journey. Give us the journey. Who is Brother Hassan, a.k.a. the Giant? And what does Giant stand for?
Well, raised as Hassan by my mother. You know what I mean? I had a stepfather. My father wasn't there. It's deep because I just seen my father after about 20, 22 years maybe. I just seen my father, you know. But growing up with my moms, had a great stepdad, beautiful family. I didn't have to go left at all, you know, to do the wrong thing. It was just a comfortable thing to do because all my boys was doing it. So I wasn't raised in a family that was just out on the streets going wild, doing crazy things. We had strong morals and principles, you know what I mean? I just decided to be on the other side of the street because that's where my homies was at, you know what I mean? And it was kind of easy to be across the street. So pretty much a smart kid. Wasn't a wild boy in school too much. But I knew all the wild boys. So, they, you know, there you go again, guilty by association. So growing up on the Lower East Side, man, every one of my friends was getting money. I was into the dancing and the music. And then once again, just seeing my friends do what they doing, it was like, if they can do it, you know, I can do it. It wasn't like I have to have these things. I had to have jewelry. I had to have nice clothes. That wasn't really a second necessity to me. But I wanted it because my boys had it. So getting caught up in the street life, never was really in the gang thing, but was definitely around some tough people doing some, you know, pretty negative things that we would call it. And I got caught up, you know, I got locked up, went to the juvenile system. That was light work, went right out of that. That was comfortable. And then made it to Rikers Island. That was a little bit different.
Let's stop there. You running, you hanging, you chilling.
Running, hanging, and chilling.
Dancing.
That's
one thing we have in common.
We have to bring that up.
But, we'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll get back.
Shout out to Float.
Shout out to Float, man.
A.K.A.
New York
Valentine.
City Breakers, man.
But New York City, Rikers Island.
Rikers.
Day one. Break it down. You get on the bus. You come around the corner past LaGuardia. Boom.
Crazy.
Pull up.
Pull up. The energy is different. The energy, like I said, nobody was saying that. Just the energy of Rikers was just different from the officers to getting off the bus. You know what I mean? Got there, made it to the dorms, going through the security checkpoints, so forth, so on. I think the most scariest part for me, humbly, was when I made it to the prison inside Rikers, and I made it to the dorm, and a lot of dudes that knew me was like, yo, my man is here. Oh, we about to tear shit up. And I'm like, y'all niggas is happy to see me? Like, I'm not in a good mood. I don't even know why y'all excited and you bigging me up. Like, I don't want to. That was scary because I was wondering why everybody was so comfortable. Like, yes, we're deep. That's my man. Like, it's going, nah, bro, I'm trying to figure out how to get home and make bail. You talking about my boy is here. Like, we're deeper. So I already knew. Like, that clicked immediately. Like, nobody was like, what you doing here, bro? Like, what happened? You ain't make, like, it was none of that.
Like, yo, what took you so long?
That was the energy. Wow, Dre, I didn't take it as that.
That's what they said to me.
That's what.
When I showed up, they're like, yo, what took you so long?
Yeah,
we knew you was coming.
See, they didn't say that, but it was like, yo, we deep now. Lower East Side is in the building, Manhattan. I'm like, so we still trying to form Voltron. I'm trying to go home. Like, this ain't gangster fam. Gangsters need to be free. That was still my mentality. How do I get back home? It wasn't, I'm here with my boys and I'm good. Let's do this. That was never my attitude. And I think that was the uncomfortable piece for me.
So what was the hardest thing you had to deal with or to face? Because grew up, good family, grew up, good morals, good character.
Leaving my family, man. Not still being a leader I was in my family, to my little brother and sister, or going to the store for my grandmother, you know what I mean, making sure my mother was good. That I had strong principles.
What are you doing now?
Well, now I'm like, okay, well, I'm in jail.
No. What are you doing now?
Oh, what I'm doing now?
We rocking the gear.
I'm a human repair agency. I go city to city fixing human beings with words and exercise. That's my toolkit.
You go fix your human repair.
I'm a human repair agency. I fix human beings
who are in disarray.
That are in disarray.
Or broken.
Or broken with words and exercise to the best of my ability.
Got you.
I want them to take a drink with me. We got to quench our thirst.
And where do your people drink at?
At the bar. But I don't mean a bar like you order Heinekens and, St. Ives will give you crooked eyes. Bud don't make you wiser. So I want you to drink with me at a portable pull-up bar. I want you to pull yourself up on the bar before you wind back up behind the wrong bars. That's why it's called Bartendaz. I see you rocking yours, man. I appreciate you. So that's important for me now to be a human repair agency.
And how long you been doing this for?
For the last 20 years of my life, 25 years of my life.
You've been home over 20 years now?
Yes. I'm proud of it, man.
Showing improvement.
93, showing improvement, application. Walk the walk, then talk it. Not talk it, then walk it. Walk it, then talk it.
Now, I know you go all over the planet with this. You have bartender camps all over the world.
All over.
If you could, human repair agent, owner, operator,
yes,
get hold of 16-year-old giant, what do you say to him?
The first thing I would say to him is, you got to fix your cap. The mind got to be fixed. Number one thing, because I realize how you think, projects everything else that you live by, and how you walk your day to day, what's on your mind. So if I got stinking thinking, everything else in my attitude is going to be exactly what I'm thinking about. My whole attitude is get money, then I don't know nothing else except trying to get money, whether it's negative or positive. So I had to change the mindset because I didn't believe nothing was wrong with my mindset. So once I realized, wait a minute, something's wrong with me.
So a dude sitting on his bunk right now, he got his tablet. He's like, yo, Harlem, Lower East Side,
Factory.
New York is in the building, official dude. What are you saying to him right now? Because he's on the bunk thinking, I'm going to go home and turn up again.
Nah.
I'm going to go home and level up again. I'm going to go home and turn the block out.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Why not?
Why not? Because if you still thinking like that, like I said, stinking thinking, I'm talking about giant thinking. He's still thinking like a mental midget if you think you could beat this system. That was my first thing. I seen everybody going home, coming back. So I'm like, well, evidently freedom ain't work for you. That's what I'm watching people go home. I'm like, okay, I don't think I need to be home. I think I need to continue to work on my freedom, Dre. If I didn't free this, I knew I was going to go home and come right back. Because these guys are going home with a master plan to fail. Because they think they could beat the system, man.
But, dude, there's money on them streets.
Major money in the streets. But that money leads you back to losing your freedom. Now, depending on how you're getting your money, Dre, you get a lot of money, Dre. You got all your freedom, and you still helping people go get their freedom. So you're not going left to get your money. So I think that's different directions when you think about that again. And your whole mind state, Dre, is on a whole nother level, brother. That's why I enjoy being around you.
Well, they walk, I can't. People think they can't do it. For the record, I got a GED in solitary confinement.
GED.
I got a GED, and it works. No, my GED works.
Well, let me tell you about my GED. I took it and failed and got angry in prison. Said, I ain't never taking it again. Big brother, I never forget, man. Tapped me on my shoulder. Hey, what's up, OG? Heard you failed at a GED. Yeah, wow, what's up? You taking it again? You bugging. I ain't taking that test again. Yes, you are. Now, in my mind, I'm like, why you care? He really cared, Dre. But I'm trying to be tough because my boys is, well, I ain't taking that test again. You taking that again, King. And I'm like, you care? Dre, I took that test again and failed. That's 2 times now, Dre. And then the 3rd time, he didn't have to ask me. I wanted to take that test.
What did it mean to you to have somebody care?
That was different, bro. I mean, because around certain people you say you care, they're associated with being gay. You care about it, that's gay, homie. You're a homie. You like that dude, you love that brother. We wouldn't express that openly. So this is the time of these type of giants and kings and queens to openly proclaim the people you respect and you got love for. For him to say that around all these gangsters and murderers that talk about me taking a GED instead of stabbing somebody in the yard, that was incredible. The conversations about me taking a GED again, not about the dude that messed up on that commissary and come up with that money, that slandering your name we gonna go get in the yard. We talking about me taking my GED again. That meant, and he didn't tell me he cared. I knew he cared, and that's the way he showed me. He didn't say, brother, I care about you. He could have said, use those words. He spoke life into you. He spoke life into me, Dre, because I knew him. He could care less about a GED. That's what you're not worried about this package I'm about to get. You're not worried about the visit we about to get that stuff in here. You worried about me taking a GED again? I didn't even know you was listening. I didn't even know they went and told you I failed. So you watching me, King. You believe in me, man. You believe in me, and I ran with that. I made sure I took that GED again.
So for the brothers and the sisters who failed their test last week, what's your message?
Take it again. Take it again, then do it again, then reinvest in yourself. Because we comfortable. We are phenomenal with giving up. If it don't work, guess the 2 words we give it. It's all good. What's the second word? Whatever. We gotta erase that concept of it's all good. It's not all good. And it's not whatever. Because while you chilling on your bed right now, trying to build your muscles and look good, they got other people's children learning how to run the world with you in it. Get your education up.
So what you do to study once you passed your GED?
It was on, brother. I fell in love with reading again. I didn't know.
What was you reading?
I was reading anything and everything. I mean, besides my Islamic books and history books, I was reading books on animals, tables, how to make anything and everything. I became a reader again. I love reading.
You forgot that you love reading.
I forgot that I love reading. Because reading, what I'm reading for on the streets in my community, ain't nobody reading. Reading on who to go get and who go get that money and who's doing what. So I'm reading the signs of the people and who's bringing in that cash and what block got the most money. I'm reading the signs, but I'm not reading myself. I'm not reading on how I can grow and be a benefit to my community and my family in the world. I didn't want to be that mental midget that I was hearing about and seeing about, but I was because of what I was doing.
Mental midget with a big name.
Mental midget with a big name, big reputation. That's one of the things that changed me before I went to prison. Like I had a kind of like a self-check before I came. And I missed it. That was a sign from God. I never forget. I was at a big motorcycle rally with my homies. We got our motorcycles up. I'm drenched out with ice. We looking good. The ladies is out. The homies is out. And this lady said, "Oh, you Miss Jackie's son, huh?" Yeah, I'm Miss, you know my mother? And I'm still trying to be smooth, but you mentioned my mother's name, so that's kind of humbling. Who are you? And I'm like, what? You know who I am, family. You know who I am. Who are you? And I'm like, she did not ask me that in front of everyone. I didn't know who I was, Dre, but I was shit. I had the biggest
you was
piece
fly,
of,
though.
I was fly, Dre.
You was lost,
I
fly.
was lost, fly. How you lost and fly? I was lost and fly. Mad bling bling, no think, gone. And I was, Dre, I never been that. I was rather you whip I was embarrassed. All my homies is there. Like, they waiting for an answer, too. Like,
who are you?
I'm me. I'm Hassan. I'm War. She's like, no, that's your name. Who are you? Like, she didn't give up. Like, who are you? All right.
Let's go on. Like,
I don't know.
I'm out of here.
See the attitude?
You
Whatever.
Pickle in the bag?
Pickle
in the stove. Pickle in the
like,
bag. I go to the
wow.
stove
So
for you.
I brushed that off. Yeah, whatever. I'm good. But I was embarrassed.
What was the best advice that you can give somebody who's coming in that they can implement into like being the best practice that they can turn their life around? Because Rikers Island's real. There's a lot of noise.
Every day.
It's a lot of noise. And there's a lot of other jails around the country that come with a lot of noise. How do they tune the noise out and get to that reading thing?
You have to quiet the mind and you have to desire and want change, Ray. When I wanted change, I directly told my homies or my people, you can't come around me. At this time, you can't come to my cell. I had to deliberately take a stand. I didn't want them to think that I was comfortable with my situation. I wanted something different. So I wanted to be around the people in the jail that was different. I wanted to be around the people in the jail that was innovative to everything else that was going on. Like, that's who I was. So when I seen the brother that went in the yard and sat in the grass and read, you're not going to look over your shoulder? No. He done killed 5 people. Why is he reading a book? Why you want to read a book and you kill 5? So I wanted to know what was in reading, and I wanted to quiet my mind down and get away from everything else that was in the yard. I don't want to walk the yard and smoke with you. I don't want to see what you was going to drink today, who was going to stab today. I wanted to do something different than what the prison was offering. That was important to me, Dre, to tell those individuals, I wanted to learn about me right now. I wanted to rebuild me.
You came to prison with me in South Carolina. How was that?
It was humbling. Just when I thought I was a giant, and I still am a giant, but there's different levels of being a giant.
Different levels.
When I came home, one of my goals was to go back to Rikers Island, the people that took my freedom. Then my goal after going back to Rikers Island was to find out how can they pay me to go back to Rikers to continue to go back with a program and hire a felon. I want to do something that I haven't seen a felon do, which is brothers is coming home and then they fall off, Dre. They don't create business. They're not in the prisons. They act like they didn't know nobody in the prison. I wanted to go back because I didn't want to forget the people that was there and have something to offer them. When they say, brother, he was in this jail with me, he came back, oh, this is different. So I had the opportunity to go back to Rikers Island and give classes and give workshops. Dre, I'm getting paid to go to the prisons now. I'm giving speeches.
Doing it.
I'm thinking I'm doing
Harlem's
big
in the building.
things. Harlem's in the building, 2 felonies, blue trial. I got a program on Rikers in 5 different buildings.
Salute.
No salute. I go down south with Dre, maximum prisons. Now the brothers look at me, Queens look at me because I've been locked up, so I know you can relate to me. They gave Dre keys. Like, why are you giving him keys? Like, we're visiting, we're still volunteers. I don't care how much you pay Dre. Why would you give him a key? So after they passed him the keys, I'm in awe. Like, John, you coming with us? My feet are not moving. I'm like, let me get my feet together. And I'm like, this is deep. I push my feet. I'm walking forward because this is big to me. I never seen nobody with felons get a key. Volunteer services. I don't care if you I never seen that in my life. So we walk. The officers greet Dre. They greet his team. As soon as we get there, they open the doors. We go onto the floor. We introduce ourselves. We give our presentation. Dre says, reading time. I look around at all these dangerous inmates who got 20, 30, 40 years. Pick up books. And I'm like, they're going to read? He's like, yeah, for an hour. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not going to read for an hour. In a maximum prison, 75, 80, brother, for an hour, silence, no movement. I've never seen nothing like that in my life, Dre. I salute you, King, because that's investment. If they're reading, then they're willing to change. And that, for me, Dre, I've never seen nothing like that in my life, brother. So I knew I had to do more work. I had to do more work when I went back to Rikers.
We're back to the Yankees and the Red Sox thing.
Yeah, I had to go back.
We might have got that. We got the chip that year.
So I need a whole floor on Rikers now. I need a whole building to create giant thinking and life camp. So that was an honor, brother. I got more maximum prisons to go to with my brother Dre.
Oh, Michigan we did shout out to Chippewa. These brothers from Chippewa gonna see you.
Yes,
they watching you.
Oh, they watching. Salute to my brothers. But keep in mind, even though I was a giant midget with Dre in this maximum prison, I was undefeated on the bars and the exercise. I want you to keep that in mind because the rumor is the strongest man or queen or king is in prison because all you do is eat and work out all day. If I walk in your prison, you're losing. And I'm free.
This is simple. Challenge to everybody. Any DOC, any HOC, any program.
If I come in your prison,
I'm coming with my homie.
I'm battling anyone.
Shatter you. We went to Michigan, told the whole yard, go get your best.
Go get your best. And I'm not saying this as a challenge and I'm better than you and look at me. No, brother. Challenging each other is about reinvesting who we are and understanding what that pull-up bar did for me. See, when you pull up on that bar, this is the first time I became free in prison. Because when I pulled up, I was free. I was above the bar. And I was above the bars around me. So exercising with weight-free program did something different for me mentally to pull up on that bar, Dre.
I remember I've heard you say, You pull up to God.
Pull up to God, man. There's nothing higher than that, to pull up on that bar. Because you say raise the bar. How you going to raise the bar if you ain't on it?
Facts.
So I wanted to get on the pull-up bar and do something totally different that I've never seen before. And I didn't think I accomplished that until, Jack LaLanne called my phone. And that's when I was like,
Big Jack.
okay, I'm special. I'm special. Jack LaLanne? Whatever. I hung up on him, Dre. I was happy he called me back. Like, why did you hang up? I'm like, Jack LaLanne? Like, Jack LaLanne that created Jumpin' Jacks is on my phone? No. He's like, yes, my grandchildren love you. And I'm like, what do you're my superhero, man. Like, what are you doing?
Didn't understand the power of you.
At all, man.
And we need the brothers and sisters watching to understand the power of them. Because we started there.
Understand the power of you.
We started there. Before I could run a prison, before I could work at the White House or Harvard, or do any of this stuff, we started walking the yard. Now, we all walk the track. We all walk the track. That's just what we do.
Right.
The question is, what group are you walking in? Are you walking in the group of dudes smoking? You walking in a group of dudes plotting? You walking in a group of dudes who are building? I walked in all the groups.
Let me tell you something, Dre, man. I remember one time I was going to the yard. My brother Cito Caban, I love you. I miss you, King. And I walked past Cito's cell. I couldn't wait to get to the yard. And Cito had his feet up, a big straw hat, and reading a book. And I'm like, you not coming to the yard, Cito? He's like, no, papi, not today. I told you not today. I told you last night. I'm like, what you mean? Papi, today I'm in Puerto Plata. In the Dominican Republic, nigga, you in jail. Papi, you don't see my boat? He showed me to put my boat. I'm here for 1 hour in Puerto Plata. I'm not going to the yard. Whatever. I kept it moving. Dre, I made it to the gate, and I couldn't go through the yard. And the officer's like, come on, Yasin, let's go. And I'm like, I can't. I'm not going. He's like, you're not going to the yard? You? I'm like, I'm not going. He said, the bar's waiting. I'm like, officer. And before I could say it, like, officer, take me back, my eyes filled with water, Dre. I never cried in prison. Ran back to my cell, shaking like, you in Puerto Plata in a book. I'm not reading enough because you're really not in jail. He was really on a boat. He was dead, Dre, his face, he was dead serious about being in Dominican Republic, in prison, in mid-state. I was like, I want that feeling, Dre. You really opened the book and felt like that? Like he was dead serious. And I said, okay, I got to read harder. I got to read smarter, Dre. That was important to me, man.
Support systems. People inside lose contact. They had broken contact before they went in most instances. I know a lot of us don't really talk to moms. We stop going to the store to pick up pickles. We get busy. Now we in jail with our homies. So who outside holding us down? And so how do you get them to reconnect to the support system?
Well, I'm fortunate, man. I had a beautiful support system. My mom's has always been there for me. My family, close friends. I was really connected to my community. I did a lot of park jams, so I was already known for the music thing before I got locked up. But the support system is really important, man. I mean, you can break down without having a proper support system and want to hurt yourself and hurt others and become more angry because you don't have that support. That support is the hope system. That's the balance for you. I know it was for me. Those letters is, forget a visit. I know brothers that couldn't get visits, but those letters, jewelry, Dre.
My stepfather gave me the worst advice ever.
The worst advice?
I got to prison. He had done time. He robbed banks in the 60s.
Oh, I know what he told you, Dre.
I got off the bus. I called Dad. It's like, yo, because I grew up under my stepfather, not my father. He said, listen, I'm going to give you some advice, son. There's 2 ways you can do your bid. You can be in the visiting room, making calls, getting letters, on the radio, trying to get shout-outs. None of that stuff you can control.
Right.
And it's going to drive you crazy.
True.
He says, you can scrap all that and focus on what you can control, what's inside those walls. I didn't do visits. I didn't write. I didn't pick up the phone. I didn't turn on the radio. My whole life was inside those walls.
Wow.
And nothing else existed. If you had a visit, you were weak. If you was trying to get a letter, that was weakness.
Really?
In my mind, I became prison.
Right, but I wasn't trying to be prison because I realized, again, Dre, it goes back to my mind. If I'm mentally locked up, I'm already locked up.
Yeah.
So I was really striving to keep my mind.
I found out years later that was the worst advice I could ever got, because I took it to heart.
Yeah, you took it. And you
I took it to heart.
On that. I had to communicate with the family, man. I meant a lot to people, you know, and I know I hurt a lot of people, Dre. I know I hurt a lot of families I was holding down. I didn't realize how important I was till I was gone, man.
There was a brother you met in South Carolina, toughest dude in our block, with his hands and feet, nicest dude in our block. We were in group one day, and he was talking about having smashed people, beat up people, knocked him out, whatever, because that's what he's always done. And dude violated, he caught his hands, caught the feet. And he said that my dad taught me when I was a kid that somebody puts their hands on you, you hit them back. We all been taught that. And I looked at him. I've done multiple years of therapy, multiple years of training, therapist. And I looked at him, I said, yo, brother. Now, mind you, toughest dude in the building, partly in the system. Looked at him, I said, bro, your dad was wrong. He said, what? I said, I don't want to be the first to tell you, but your dad was wrong. What he told you was wrong.
What'd you say?
He said, what do you mean? I said, how did it work out for you? You took his advice. How has it worked out for you? You're 27 years in to a life sentence.
27.
How is that advice working out for you? It's not. And I said, what he told you was wrong. What he should have said is defend yourself when necessary. Walk away when possible. And you wouldn't be here. Great. Had you used that advice,
you wouldn't even have.
You wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't be 28 years, 27 years in on forever. And he sat there and he thought about it. And he started crying.
Wow, the toughest.
Shook the whole room. I love the dude, real talk. And I want to see him be good. But if he goes home after 28, 30 years of bidding and he still has that one lesson from dad.
That's going to be another new charge, right?
Another new charge.
We got to change this thinking, you know.
So a lot of us
that giant thinking.
Have been through stuff based on what we were taught as kids. And a lot of what we were taught was wrong.
Very much so.
Craziest. This is the craziest. I'm going to go back to you. Son, you know, you met my boy.
Yes.
Greatest kid on the planet, because he's mine. And when he was first born, I told a friend of mine, old white guy, I said, yeah, I got a son. When he turns 12, I'm going to do the come to Jesus meeting. You know, you take him downstairs, give him the beating of his lifetime, let him know the dad's in charge. Right. It's a tough world for blacks. Those script. I heard this. I went through that. So I know that. And my brother went through it. My other brother went through it. We all had that meet me in the bathroom talk. Get brakes beat off you, right. Then you get the lesson. You get the lesson behind it.
Yes.
Now that I beat you half to death, let me tell you how the world works and why you should come listen to me.
Right.
It didn't work out for me, but I went through it. My cousins went through it. Most of the homies went through it if they had a dad. And I said to my friend, I'm going to have this meeting with my son. He said, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I said, no, you don't understand. It's tough out here for black folks. There's rules. You have to understand the rules to the life and boop, 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 boop. And he said, Dre, that is crazy. Then he said, listen, the toughest thing you have against your son, the strongest thing you have against your son is disappointment. He said, if you're in your son's life every day and his world will revolve around you, and if you move yourself out of his orbit, he won't know how to exist. And he'll do anything to get you back in his orbit so his life can stabilize.
Yes.
He said, you don't have to hit him. You just have to back up. Back up a safe distance where he can see you, but he knows that you're out of distance. And that distance will create a pain in his chest that is bigger than any pain you can ever inflict on him. And I said, man, it kind of sound like some old white people stuff. And y'all move different than us. You don't beat your kids. He said, let me tell you the thing that I didn't want to say to you. He said, what you're proposing to do to your son is what slave masters did to slaves. That's when you became of age, they would take you out back, they'd beat you and tell you who runs the world. And you need to have fear of the slave master so he would beat you and then tell you, I run the world. And we took that tradition and we kept it. I don't know why, but when he said it to me, it was exactly correct. I'm going to beat my son within an inch of his life, not literally, then tell him I run the world. And when he said that's what they used to do back in the days, why are you replicating something that didn't work and you didn't like? Your ancestors didn't like that philosophy or system. Why are you doing that?
Right.
Shut my whole day down. And save my son. Multiple beatings. I didn't beat my kid his whole life. I would just back up.
Right.
I would just back up. I didn't know that was a play. You could do that.
Right.
I thought it had to be this.
Right.
I grew up in the penitentiary. It's this.
Yes.
Everything's this. I grew up fighting my two brothers. I got two brothers. They used to beat up one, they both jumped me. I came out the door fighting 2 against 1.
Right.
And he said, no. Greatest advice that shaped my son's life came from an old white deacon dude. No, old white deacon dude from the church that I used to volunteer at. And it's facts.
Communication.
And so often we hold on to things that we were taught that didn't work. So sometimes you got to go find somebody from another culture.
Very much so.
And learn, well, how do y'all do that?
How does that work for you?
How does that work for you?
And we got to let go of the other things that we're trying to pick up the new things.
I got all the stuff I wanted to have without hurting anybody, which was complete opposite of what I was taught.
Right. I agree.
You've been out here 20 plus years.
20 plus years. And some of my boys are still in there, man. Still bitter. Now, watch me thinking I was doing the right thing, which was the wrong thing, and they got bigger numbers than me, man. And I'm going to work hard, my brother MK and them, to try to get them back where I'm at, man. That's important.
Now, I know you said you study Islamic books.
Yeah.
I know you just got finished fasting.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I need you, we're going to do a few messages before we roll out of here.
Okay.
First, to your Muslim brothers. Give them some advice, man. Muslim brothers got tablets too.
Brothers.
No. You know, listen, they're going to have to translate it.
Listen, Assalamu alaikum, my keys, brothers and sisters, peace be unto you. Laqad kana lakum fi Rasulillahi uswatun hasanat. Indeed, you have in the Prophet the most beautiful character to be followed and implemented. Study yourself, study the people that you look up to, and implement the best of character first. You see a wrong, correct it. That's super energy as a man and queen. Not because it's your boy, you ain't going to correct it and say nothing. Speak against it if you can't correct it. Write against it if you can't correct it. And if at least not, hate it in your heart. And start with yourself first. If you know you foul, work on checking you. And get yourself around people that's going to check you when you know you're wrong, family. This is important. Self. Iqra. That's all I have to say to y'all. The first thing we're told in the Quran besides anything else is read, Dre. I ain't got nothing else. Read.
For the New Yorkers.
For the New Yorkers.
And the dudes who got stuck away from home. You 95 babies.
Listen, you caught that number, you in jail. I don't care what much time you're doing. Do you really know yourself yet? Do you really love yourself yet? Are you comfortable with that man or woman in the mirror? And if you have children that are in a free world, are you communicating and trying to keep them away from where you at? Please. Because believe me, some of these young kings and queens out here that's wilding out are products of the brothers and sisters that's in there. So I'm asking you, please, reach out. Please reach out. Keep reading, keep rebuilding self. It's not too late. Don't think you can't do nothing great from where you at. That's not true. Because I created my whole organization in prison.
For the sisters.
For the sisters.
They often get overlooked. We're told, okay, you was a hustler, you went to prison. Next dude was a hustler and murderer, he went to prison. Or you can come home, suit up, go get a job, get a wife, start your life over. You say you can forget about being a hustler. You can forget about being a drug dealer or stick-up kid. I can put my little past behind me, put on a suit and tie, go to work, stand up straight. I'm cool. But the sisters, molestation. Sisters, domestic violence. Sisters, prostitution. Sisters, you know what I'm saying, been through all kinds of madness. And nobody's telling them, do you know something? You can be whole again. You can be forgiven. You can put on a dress and go out there and have a husband and a family.
Queen.
We're telling them, oh, you've been a prostitute? You're done.
Queen, you know, you the womb of the earth. You the womb of mankind. You the womb of civilization. And we have something in giant thinking that's an acronym for woman, wonderful, outstanding, mature, aware, and necessary. Look at these letters in this acronym and implement these letters, Queen. It's not too late. It's okay if you're a mother of 3 or 4 and you abandon your children and you're no longer with them and you're serving 5 or 10 years and they won't let you see your children. It's not too late, Queen. Because you still can mother someone that's in that system with you right now. And you know what I'm saying is facts. It's not too late for you, Queen. There's a sisters out here right now that's going to the left. It's queens like you that's going to say, I've been there. Some people change because of the light. Some people got to get burnt. You one of those queens that's been burnt, and you can give them a new light that can set them free and a new guidance to stand on. So do not give up, Queen. It's not too late. And build your support system, whoever that may be. If it starts with one person, build that system. Build that dome. Please, Queen. Strong spirit. You the womb of civilization. Stay strong. Please.
Not lastly, but next. Some people, man, just feel like giving up. Doing time, I mean, they ain't built like that. Doesn't matter how big you are or how tall you stand. Some people just say it just is tough. Being in the box, being on the yard, just going through the day-to-day havoc, people passing on the street, stuff happening, you just feel left out or forgotten.
Even through those darkest times, Dre, even though those ugly times, man, you know, with every difficulty, there's relief, Dre. I hate needles. I'm terrified of needles. But my mother looked at me one day and said, the medication's in the needle. And I was like, oh. Like, don't give up. I was in that black cocoon, man. I was an ugly caterpillar, man. And, you know, you still can come out, you know, that butterfly. Yes, you can. No matter how ugly your situation is, I done seen the worst of the worst become, you know, superstars in my eyes, man. You know, so if you in that tunnel, you in that box, you gotta dig in and believe, man. No matter how dark it is, man, there's light. But you gotta believe it. And then what I had to learn after I believe, I had to know. Because at some point, believing still wasn't enough, Dre. I needed to know. And I knew by applying and staying consistent, man. And that's why, Dre, I don't want to be like the other brothers that came home that was the strongest and biggest and wound up being nobodies. I wanted to continue to be the strongest, whether I was home or not, mentally or physically. That was important to me, to set that new example, Dre. The new king that comes home, that represents, that goes back into his community, that's viable in his community. Because, Dre, I was a product of my environment. Now I came home with a product for my environment.
Nah, I ain't going for that.
Yes, you are. Why not?
I ain't going for that.
Why not?
Nah, that's not accurate.
That is accurate.
That's
I was a product of my environment. All right.
No, you're not.
All right, let me know.
No. I listen. I'm a motivational speaker. So I'm just going to give you my facts.
Okay.
As I heard them.
Yes.
You said, Andre, I grew up in a house with my mom and my stepdad. My grandmother, my aunt were prevalent in my life. And they were all good people. That was your environment.
Yes.
So you're a product of that.
Salute that mind.
You stepped away from your environment and
environment
opted to be in the street.
And opted to be someone
Some
else.
of us are born into chaos.
Yes.
You weren't born in chaos.
I wasn't born in chaos.
So you are not acting as a product of your environment. You opted out of your environment to some madness.
Truth.
So
Opt out.
You can't own that.
That was violent. I can't own that. You're right, brother. And I accept that. And that's a part of growing and developing. So I accept that.
So you were a product of some bad choices.
Some bad choices. I was definitely a product of some bad choices.
Because I'm not going to let you throw salt at mom and stepdad.
Nah, phenomenal people.
I can say that. My dad was like horrible and my mom was busy. Yours was there on deck.
Yeah, they was there. And
I wish my grandmother would have sent me to the store to play her numbers.
Really?
She wasn't around like that.
She wasn't around. Yeah, my grandmother, Eastern Star, she was very involved, and I was involved in the community. But like
let's do that line again.
I decided to do something else.
So let's redo that.
I was a product of some stinking, minute, midget thinking that I thought was beneficial to me at the time. I wanted the bling bling, but it wasn't what I thought it was. It wasn't real. It was fake.
So now you came over with a product for your neighborhood.
Now I got a product for my neighborhood, Giant Thinking and Bartenders. It's very important.
What does Giant mean? You never broke it.
Giant is an acronym for growing is a noble thing. Growing is a noble thing. Stay noble so you can grow.
Brother Giant.
Yes.
We're getting close. And you're my trainer, so you're about to help me get fit out here.
I can't wait till they see you in the next.
Oh, they gonna listen. I'm coming to buy this hoodie. Yes. Y'all gonna be seeing me do stuff in wife beaters in a minute.
That's important to me.
But It's coming. What did it do? Inside I had a different workout. What did the workout do for you? Because you've taken this to a whole nother level. What did it do for you inside?
It's Dre, man. It was my medication. It was my therapy, Dre. Like, all the brothers is lifting weights and I went to lift weights with them. And I'm like, I'm getting more aggressive. I'm ready to stab something again after I work out with the weights. And it still didn't really, I'm like, maybe I should be working out with y'all because y'all making me more aggressive over here. And then I went to see the pretty boys on the pull-up bar, and they got they new sneakers on, they shirts buttoned up, and the conversation was different, Dre. They doing pull-ups, and you know what I'm saying, I'm on the visit. And I'm like, the swag is different. Wait a minute. Aggressive, humble, and I'm like, maybe I should stay at the bar, because I did pull-ups before I was incarcerated. I just didn't see the attachment to the mind. Dre, man, I started exercising 3 times a day on that bar, meeting different people. And that the peace, the tranquility. I thought prayer gave me tranquility, Dre. No, man, taking the time out to invest in my body and do them pull-ups and them push-ups, 60, 70 sets, 80 sets, that was different for me, man. That pull-up, again, I'm going against gravity, Dre. This is the only time the human is going against gravity, and I'm pulling up to the Most High, man. And I thought that was a personal time for me to work on me and to reinvest in myself away from everyone else. Because weights, I need help. Spot me, give me the weights, do this. The bar is just me. It's just me and myself. I can only improve by doing more and investing more time. Push-ups is just me. Just me and me, not no one else. And I needed me time. And that's what that bar did for me, that dip bar and that floor. And I never knew I was going to create something from this. So this whole time, I'm giving myself therapy, Dre. I'm creating a program that I'm going to take back to the world, Dre, but I don't even know I'm creating it. So everybody's coming to the yard like, yo, young blood, I seen you on the bar yesterday. You a monster up there, young blood. I remember last year when you was here. You was nobody. I'm like, you watching me? Yo, brother, you beautiful on that bar. Beautiful? What you mean I'm beautiful? This what you doing on the bar, we not doing in here. Like, you're bugging. You creating all this. We watching you. And I'm like, okay. Never thought I was going to create a program, Dre. Never in my life. I'm thinking I'm going to go home and get a good job and take care of my family. And one day my man said, yo, I got another 10 years left, man. I want to see you on TV doing that crazy stuff on the bars, man. I'm like, I should become a trainer, right? Trainer? So crack, dope. You could sell pull-ups. I was like, yeah, all right. Right over my head, Dre. Went home, started working out again in the park. I never stopped, Dre. I'm bringing my therapy with me, Dre. I'm exercising in the park, I'm doing my work, I'm exercising in the park, some of the homies is coming out, and some young ladies used to always walk by the park to the train station and see us, Dre. And this beautiful lady said one day, brothers, every time we see you, man, giant man, y'all get us drunk. I get you drunk. See you do that crazy stuff on the bar. That was it, Dre. It hit me like lightning. Bartendaz. Come pull up on the bars. Don't wind up behind the wrong bars. Bartendaz is it. I'm serving drinks in my community.
There you go.
And it took off.
And still, listen, I'm on board.
But I wouldn't have had the thought if I wouldn't got incarcerated, Dre. If I didn't get locked up, I wouldn't have been doing no pull-ups, Dre. Or taking it to the level that I'm on now, making it my lifestyle.
I'd have never been a motivational speaker if I didn't go to prison.
Wow, Dre. So you went in like a caterpillar as well and came out a butterfly. And look where you are now, man. It's an honor to meet you, brother.
In closing, we got a book club. We got the book club. I got a book in here for you. See, I got 2 books.
I was going to say, give me 2, because when I met this man, what made me fall in love with him, within 2 minutes, he handed me 7 books. He didn't know if I could read or not. That could have intimidated me. You don't know if I could read. He gave me 7 books. And I read all of them. And the first one was called Who, Not How. Read this twice. And please keep in mind the key word in learn is earn. And the key word in earn is ear. You got that from the giant. Who, not, oh my, yo, Dre got so many books. I mean, this whole book club, man, even the people that you brought me around, super millionaires and super great minds and beautiful people that want to reach out and make other people great, man.
You went to Genius Network.
I've been to Genius Network. I got the book bag in the back. I'll be back again. If I could just mop the floors for Genius Network and they invited me every year just to mop, that's the only way I can get in, I would mop. Giant, the only way you can get in, you got to throw out the garbage. The wealth of knowledge that's in that room, the contacts, I like to call it the Connecticon room. I'm going to leave it as that because there's a lot of connections going on.
We're going to take you back to Genius Network. You don't have to mop the floor.
Please, man. No, I ain't got it. But if I, you know,
No,
I'm just letting you know, growing is a noble thing. And
growing is a noble thing, but we don't mop floors, though.
No, we don't mop floors.
What about this one?
Woo! All right, listen, people. Ambassador of Hope. I'm the type of individual, if I'm in your life, I'm the one that checks you in front of everybody. I don't pull you to the side like, yo, you wrong. I'm checking you in front of everybody because it's important to see that we can be checked, right? This book is official, 100%. Anyone, if you're locked down, I'm telling you, you're not locked down. I would recommend you read this one first.
I didn't give you that one first.
And he didn't. I was like, well, why didn't you give me your, and I said that to you when I called you, why you didn't give me your book first instead of Who Not How? But I understand why he gave me Who Not How, business, and the Ambassador of Hope was personal. And I read this one twice. I didn't even know that Dre's been through all those realities, you know, reading the book, man. Like, this needs to, I don't even think Dre's promoting this book enough.
I've never done a book tour. But it's on the tablets.
Nah, read the book.
It's on here.
Read the book.
Dude, my book is on here. I don't know what the department is. They got a bookstore on here somewhere.
His story and what you've been through and where you are today, gigantic. That's a giant. So you're a giant, beloved. It's a pleasure meeting you. And I'm the next challenge, man. This is what we should do when we meet other giants. We should aspire to get to their level or learn how to create the next level. And ever since I met Dre, he's never held any information, any knowledge, any books, and he's been connecting me to people, and that's greatness to me, man. That's what being a human being is about, brother. You know. So
Day one, when the earth was formed, God said to Adam, "You have dominion over everything, walking, crawling, flying, or swimming." And I remember I called you one day. I said, "You have dominion over everything. Now, what are you going to do with it?"
Move. Walk around the world with it. I want everybody in the world to do at least one bartender's pull-up, one push-up, because I want you to pull up, you know, push up past negativity, and I want you to really reinvest in yourself because, you know, you're the ultimate blessing. Yourself, you have the ultimate machine right here that the Most High has given you. Right here, this human body. I'm not saying don't go get on your treadmill machine. It works for you. Use your legs. Walk through your community. Greet someone today. You know, exercise with your family. Exercise with your daughters, your sons. Communicate with your loved ones. Start a conversation around health and wellness. But my goal, keyword at the bottom is hope. Who can I aid and how? That's my reality, man. Giant thinking around the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Day One.
Day one.
Securus Original on the JPay platform with your host, Andre Norman, and my brother, the one and only legendary man who was taught to dance by the same guy that taught me how to dance.
Shout out to my brother Flo.
Shout out to Flo. We can do that on the next episode.
We'll do it on the next one. But
we got that on City View. We break that story down.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Anyone in there doing pull-ups, push-ups, or dips, I'll be seeing you soon. And remember, I don't care how big your biceps are. I don't care if you did 30 years in jail and you got a 36-pack. If I meet you and you are mentally bankrupt with Dre, I do 0 pull-ups with you. I don't care how big your body is. The strongest muscle that God created on the body is the mind.
With that, salute.